They're the type of practice that makes you feel you should be better. You stand there, aim at the 20s, throw, collect, repeat. It feels serious, feels structured, and it makes you feel like you're doing some proper practicing. But if most of your practice sessions look like that, then you're building yourself into the comfort zone. And in fact, you're not building yourself into the readiness. I've heard this nickname a few times in dart circles. I've seen it on Reddit. I've heard it in real life down the pub. I've also been called it myself. The 20 merchant. And it's not always about being good at the 20s. What it actually is thinking that throwing at the 20s automatically makes you better. But as we all know, darts matches don't let you live in that section alone. Now, for a lot of us beginners and improvers, that section there, the 20, it becomes home. It's where you reset. It's where you aim when you're unsure. It's where you measure whether a visit has been decent or not. And the reason why 20 becomes your home is this. It gives you instant feedback, doesn't it? You know straight away if you've just thrown a good dart. You don't always have to think about the maths in that 20 section. You don't always have to even think about the setup shot. And because we're going there, you don't even have to think about the next shot. It's clean, it's simple, and it feels like progress. Here's the kicker though. Repetition without variation does not build your range. It builds comfort. But range is where a real leg of darts is won and lost. It's what a real leg demands. Think about a real leg. Think about being in a game of 501. Your first dart lands slightly low. Now you might find yourself adjusting. Maybe you want to switch to 19s. Maybe you want to stay on the 20s to leave yourself with a 170 big fish, or 164, or 130, whatever it may be. But we all know sometimes that 20 bed is blocked. Sometimes the lie of another dart forces us to move. And sometimes the finish we want demands us to go elsewhere. Matches are constantly asking us questions. But if your practice never asks those questions, the first time they appear in a match or a competition, it's just going to feel massively unfamiliar. And unfamiliar feels uncomfortable. And it's not because you're bad. It's because you haven't quite rehearsed it. Let me flip it and show you what I mean. Just chucking at 20s. Could stay here all session long. Doesn't mean I'm going to hit a 20 every single time, but I can stay here all the time, all day long. 1, 2, 1. The issue is nothing's being challenged. Just so there, hit 201 in 2 visits. Nothing wrong with that. So out of 9 darts, only 1 didn't hit the 20 bed. I think that's a good session, right? But guess what? Nothing is being challenged, nothing's being pushed. I'm comfortable standing there doing that all session long. Now, what happens when this is a scenario? Well, extreme, I know, but basically that 20 bed is completely blocked off. Would I keep going around it? Do I try and go around it? Or do I force myself to go somewhere else? This is where moving around the board and not being a 20 merchant I am one. I try to be one. I don't want to be one all the time, but sometimes it's easy practice, right? We fall into that trap. It's easy. What do we do in that situation? I'll tell you what we'll do. For 20 merchants. We hit 21. Now look, that's just extreme, but because nothing's being challenged, I'll just do that all day long. We all fall into that trap sometimes, 20s, 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 20s. We're not actually challenging or changing anything. So what I'm going to do now, rather than just being that 20 merchant that I can slip into habit sometimes, if I hit 3 in the 20s or hit 1 treble, I'm locking the 20 out. I'm getting rid of it because I need to be able to hit another number when called upon. Right, it's already locked out. So let's go and switch. Let's pretend we're switching. Let's hit 19s. Bled into the 7. So let's pretend that that's still out of bounds. 19s it is. Oh dear, see? Changes the whole dynamic of my throw. I'm not as comfortable on 19s as 20s. Why? Because I'm a 20 merchant. Now that felt different because I'm a 20 merchant. 20s, 20s, 20s. Didn't miss many of them. As soon as I locked that bed out, I had to think, oh, downstairs we went. And I hit 119 from them 2 visits. That's not cool. It felt different because I had to think about it. I'm not just in autopilot going for 20s. Had to think about it and move to the 19s. I had to adapt, and that's more of a match situation than 20s, 20s, 20s. Let's say that I didn't lock that one out, but I blocked it off as I showed in that the first part of that. There's no way around it. I've got to go to 19s. So I need to be comfortable moving to a different number. Throwing 20s, as you've seen, builds familiarity. Switching down there or down there, whichever way I'm pointing, builds adaptability. Matches reward your adaptability. The danger of becoming a 20 merchant, it's not that you mistake readiness for repetition. It's that you mistake repetition for readiness. Comfort can make us feel sharp, but adaptability, that can make us dangerous. Practicing makes us comfortable, but training, oh, that makes you capable. And believe me, there is a difference. This hit me when I was playing a league game. Scoring pretty decent early on. I had to switch though, because that 20 bed was blocked. And for that minute, everything just completely slowed down. I felt a bit stuck. It wasn't my throw that was stuck. I didn't suddenly get the yips or diatitis. It was me thinking. That hesitation cost me that leg and that match. It's at that point I actually then realised I wasn't bad under pressure. I was narrow in my practice. That's why I stopped just standing there. That's my hockey over there. And just chucking at 20s. That was that moment made me realise that's not going to help me long term. Now there's loads of training games out there, loads of drills and these apps like Go Darts Pro that focus your training elsewhere, not just here. That's what helped me, learning new techniques, playing new games. Not because it's flashy, but because it stopped me living in one section. You don't need an app to fix that. You just need practice that demands some movement. I said it at the top of the video, standing there, throwing at 20s feels like practice. Moving around the board feels like training. And there is a big difference. This is an important message for beginners and improvers just like myself. If you stood there throwing darts at 20s and you're missing more 20s than you're hitting, it still applies. It isn't about just hitting the treble 20. It's about not narrowing our focus to one comfort area. The board is bigger than one number. and your practice should be too. If you've ever felt solid in practice but slightly exposed when the game starts, remember this: you're not alone. This is not an ability issue, it's a training structure issue. Good news is though, that is something you can change really easy. Look, we're at the end of the video now. If this has made you look at your practice a little bit differently, don't forget to drop a like. As always, I am not a professional and I am not a coach, as you can tell and see. I'm finding flaws, issues, problems within my game, and I'm trying to fix them. I can't find the solution elsewhere, so I'm fixing it myself, coming up with the ideas myself, and I'm putting them out there on YouTube to show you my journey and the progress, in the hope that it can help you in yours too. So thanks very much for watching. If you're still with me, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't be a 20 merchant.